this live self-defense training video, you're gonna discover how to fight with your umbrella. Now, this will keep you dry, but can you really fight with it for self-defense? And the answer is a simple yes if you have a very strong and sturdy umbrella. This is a longer one. I'll do a couple videos. I'll show you a shorter one with a crooked handle. But we're gonna start with this one. This is a nice commercial, very strong. It has a carbon fiber inside here. It has this part here, which makes it extremely durable. It's not gonna break very easily. This one has a hard plastic tip. I put a link below if you wanna see one that has more of a carbide tip that you can use to break windows and glass and stuff. You can see that these nicer ones come off. You can actually change the ferrule and you can get a stronger tip on this one. But this is just a simple one that you might find in a nice store that you might have, especially if you are a golfer and you have a nice golf umbrella. They're made to be extremely sturdy and you can defend yourself with them. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna lift the bag up a little bit taller. The first thing that you're gonna see is that you have a sturdy handle on your self-defense umbrella or your regular umbrella. That's so that you don't bend it doesn't blow away in the rain or in the wind. We have a big windstorm outside right now with a lot of rain. So these are made not to blow away out of your hand, so it has a nice tight grip. So from this perspective, you can use it as a striking device, a striking tool for self-defense, a striking weapon for self-defense, coming off of your shoulders and creating distance between you and the threat. They might have a bladed weapon, a knife, could be this long, could be a little bit longer. You're gonna have reach advantage. That's the first thing that you see with an umbrella that you use for self-defense. So from here, you can strike. You would ask yourself what targets you could remove or destroy, his ability to see or breathe or be awake. You can strike. If you hit hard enough with this umbrella, this hard, almost unbreakable umbrella, you could knock somebody out with the right kind of strike, into the temple, into the jaw, into the neck. So that's the first thing that you see. The second thing I want you to see is if you were to turn it around because you didn't want them to grab and try to take it out of your hand, you can use this part to jab into the stomach or that thin piece of muscle between the belly button and the groin, the private parts. You can hit there, you can hit into the solar plexus, you can bring it around, striking with this part. You can go right into the nose or the teeth. You can do a lot of damage with this. This is just a hard piece of rubberized plastic. The link below, the one that I put in there, it's made for self-defense, so it has a really hard knot on the end. But you don't have to have a fancy self-defense umbrella. You can just have a really nice, sturdy umbrella, and this will knock someone's teeth straight down their throat for self-defense. It'll easily break the nose. It'll smash his glasses. It'll puck the eye back in his face. You can go into the throat, cause a fatal strike for self-defense using that part there. Holding in this position, you can also bring the long part across the side of the head or maybe into one of the joints, into the ribs, into the knees, striking harder. You can pull this up quickly like you're answering your phone, get it into the other hand. Now, the best way to use a self-defense umbrella or an umbrella for self-defense is with two hands from this position, thrusting straight through. And if I bring this straight in to your throat or your eyes, your nose, your teeth for self-defense, into the solar plexus, it's gonna create a lot of damage. With two hands on it, you have a lot of force. From here, you can also shove it straight this way, either with your hand in this position or in this position. You can bring it in here. If you lower your body a little bit, you can come up and thrust in. And again, you have reach advantage. If he has a bladed weapon, you can use it with one hand. You can smash the hand that's carrying the weapon. You can easily break the arm with this umbrella. You can strike in to the face, hitting with a lot of speed and power and explosiveness. And again, you can take this part and just bash him right through. Now, obviously, if he's swinging something at you, you can block. And this umbrella takes a lot of force. The umbrella that I put in the link below is designed to block an attack from somebody with a baseball bat or a hard, blunt object. So you can block it. But if you know me and you've watched me for any length of time, you know I don't want you to spend too much time blocking. I'd rather you get in there and stick that through his midsection or up into his throat for self-defense. If you really feel like he was trying to kill you or take away your dignity, your life, you would thrust using the point here up, straight in. The fastest, most direct, immediate, and explosive strike you can make is that simple thrusting motion. You can turn it around and use this hard part and also bring that into his face, smashing his nose, smashing his teeth down his throat. Using this, you can strike into the leg, take his leg out from under him, breaking the knee, going for the joints that break easier than the bones. Maybe it's a vicious animal and you're out for your walk. You have your umbrella with you because it might rain, or maybe you're using it as a walking stick. You can create distance and push them back. Greetings from Holland. Hello to everybody who's on the live stream. I appreciate you being here. I just wanted to get this one in quick before my next lesson comes in. You've been asking me for weeks and weeks, and especially in certain parts of the country, in certain parts of the world, where you're not able to carry a lot of self-defense tools. It's called a non-permissive environment. They don't even want you carrying a stick for self-defense. But anywhere you are in a civilized society, you can carry an umbrella to keep yourself dry. And I opened it earlier for a picture, and I know it's considered bad luck, although I don't believe in luck, good or bad. I think you make your own. But we'll do it anyway. Trying to keep from showing you what it says on there. I'll just point it in the other direction. But you'll see in a lot of videos, people say that, you know, you can open it, especially if it's spring-loaded like this, you can open it in the face of an attacker and shove it in the face. And you can. I suppose that would be one way that you could use your umbrella, stick it in his face, make it hard for him to get in. But I like keeping it closed and using that two hands on it, so you can smash, you can bash, you can thrust, you can use the back side of it, you can bring it around your body and slam it into him just like you would any other self-defense tool, like a walking cane or a walking stick, or even if you were into that kind of thing, like a martial arts sword. I know some of you guys do martial arts and you're familiar with sword strikes. You can do all those with a simple tool like this, thrusting and striking. So simply using it in the most effective way. There are other ways. Doug says, are there special combat umbrellas? There is, Doug. If you look at that first link below, you're going to find the self-defense. There are 2 companies in the world that make a self-defense umbrella. There are really more than that, but 2 main companies, and I put a link to one of them. There's another one that if you go to those links, they'll all start to pop up. Made by the Germans, Lugo says, that is considered to be unbreakable, but they can all break. But what I would say to you, thank you, Griffith. D. Hayes Griffith just did a super chat sticker. Sorry, I'm a little in the middle of class. It's been a long day. We've done a lot of stuff today. Michael says, poke him in the guts. But I've seen positive and negative reviews. They break, they don't break. But this doesn't cost as much as one of those umbrellas. This is a nicer umbrella. It's a commercial umbrella from a big organization. I borrowed it because it was pouring rain. And I normally, the Marine in me just walks in the rain. I won't run. It's a matter of pride. But I always walk to my car. But I saw that and I said, yeah, bring the storm to them. Great comment. But I thought, you've been asking me about, especially if you live in Europe and especially in London and England, they're very big about giving all the rights to the criminals and none to the law-abiding citizens. You can't carry some of the walking sticks that I use. You can't carry some of the other self-defense tools that I teach, but you can carry your umbrella. And if you have a sturdy umbrella, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to spend all the money on a fancy, unbreakable self-defense umbrella. You can, the link's below if you want to see it, but just get yourself a nice golf umbrella. Again, this one has a carbon fiber. I think you can see that a little bit. You know, get one that has some type of a stronger core. And then, I've been smashing this thing as hard as I can, not trying to break it, but seeing how much power and effort it takes, or how much it'll take before it would be compromised. And the worst that's happened is that this just kind of pops off, comes undone. And the question was, would this legally count as a weapon? Absolutely not. If you take off your shoe and beat somebody to death out of anger and violence, they'll say the homicide was caused by your shoe. If you use your shoe in self-defense, that's a whole different story. It's the intent, it's what you're doing for self-defense, it's how you're defending yourself. So you have to remember that with just about any type of self-defense tool that you might carry. This is the perfect gray man self-defense tool. Gray man meaning that it doesn't stick out. It doesn't obviously look like you're carrying it for self-defense. You carry something like this because it rains a lot. And especially right now in South Florida, we get rain, these massive intense rainstorms, it just soaks everything. If you walk to your car, even if it's a 10-second walk, your body's soaked head to toe. So a lot of people have these in their cars. You could be carrying this in your car and get out to pump the gas because you don't feel safe in the neighborhood where you're pumping gas anymore because things keep changing. Another way that you can use this is something I teach with the canes, the walking stick, is it just comes up real fast between the legs. You can put somebody on the ground. You can turn your wrist, just like you're gonna bring a big slap in across his face. That motion is always one of my favorite motions because it comes so fast, it's hard to see it, it's hard to stop it, and if it's got a stick on the end of it, like an umbrella, it's even harder to stop. You can bring it from the inside or the outside. You can bring it down on top, smashing this just by turning the wrist from here, and then you pull on the way down. That's another way that you would use your self-defense umbrella. But again, we call it self-defense umbrella. Any umbrella can be used for self-defense if you keep it practical and keep it simple. Now, there are a lot of techniques that you'll see people teach on joint locks and pressure points and how to like wrap his arm up behind his body. If I had somebody here, I'd show you. I know all of them, but I don't teach any of them. I wouldn't have you do any of those because I want it to work, for one. I don't want you, all those other things require perfect timing and distance. And most of the time, having somebody throw the punch the way you want them to throw the punch, right? Throw the punch at me slowly like this. Throw the punch slowly like this. You've seen those videos. And then the guy does a block and he spins it in. I don't want you to do that. I want you to think about, put it in this position, point your thumb at the threat, get it in the other hand, and then from this low position, his punch is coming up to your face. You stick that in through his midsection, put him on the ground, close the gap, smash with two hands, knocking his teeth down his throat for self-defense or coming into the throat. Once you're here, you can then box the sides of his head. Having this long lever between your hands gives you lots more power because of the leverage. You're smashing here. Do that a few times and then drop and stick this up and into his midsection and push him back for self-defense. But keep it, Andre says, great techniques with a simple self-defense tool. That's what we want. We don't want fancy, dancy, all the old Kung Fu stuff, the old Aikido stuff, the Hapkido stuff, the old style Jiu-Jitsu. All that stuff is beautiful, it's great, it's esoteric, it works when your partner's feeding you the right techniques. All the Kali, the Filipino martial arts, the stick fighting, that stuff, knife fighting, taking away knife, all that stuff works so well if your partner is playing the same game that you're playing. If it's some bad guy, if it's some pug or thug, punk, mentally ill, criminally ill, bad guy, homicidal maniac who's coming to take your life, hello Billy, it's good to see you. He's not playing by any rules. He's certainly not playing by the rules that you want him to play with. He's meaning to take away your life, your freedom, your dignity, your health, one of those things, right? And if it's just your wallet, give it to him. If it's your life, defend your life. So if he had a knife, he's getting ready to stick it in you, you can stick that and create some distance, smash him back, and don't do one and done. You do multiple strikes, 2, 3, 4, 5 thrusts, smashing to the face, boxing his ears, smashing it down on top of his head. You can even use it as an Irish shillelagh, twisting and turning and smashing it into his face, and it's very effective that way too, because the diameter is small when you collapse your finger around it. Hello, Alita, it's good to see you. You're able to do those turning wrist strikes, and best if you get your self-defense umbrella or your regular umbrella, and you practice with it, practice with the techniques. Even if you don't have a bag to hit, practice the techniques in the air, practice pushing, just get a feel for it, and keep it simple. That's how you use the umbrella, your umbrella for self-defense. Not fancy, not Bartitsu. Nothing wrong with Bartitsu. It's fun to think about, especially when they make the movies, the Kingsmen or whatever they're called, and you get to see all these great fancy moves. It's like the Jason Bourne movies, the Taken movies, all those great ways that they're breaking people down and snatching them up and twisting them around and breaking their necks and for fun. It's a movie. But you always have to remember, those are two stuntmen. The actor steps out of the way, the stuntman comes in, they make him kind of look like him from the back. And then there's a stunt choreographer or fight choreographer who says, do these moves. and they practice slowly at first, they do it over and over and over, and then the self-defense. Good afternoon, Javier. It's good to see you. Then all the self-defense techniques that they do look super cool, and they're really fun, and they're awesome. We all have our favorite movies. The new movie, what's that new one that came out? The Wick. John Wick 4 came out. You know, these awesome movies, all these techniques, they all work perfectly the first time in the movie. But in real life, you don't want anything that's not going to work. If you want to defend yourself, save your life, you got to keep it simple, and simple is best. Simple are thrusts, simple are shoving motions with two hands. Simple are basic angular strikes coming off of your shoulder and holding your weapon tightly, self-defense weapon. And then thrusts, using the short end, swinging around. Anytime you can generate more power, then you have the ability to knock somebody out, no matter how big they are, no matter how small you are. And you generate that power by extending all the way, turning through your shoulders and hips, and then taking a step when you coming in and closing the distance, leading with your self-defense tool. And that's how you use your umbrella for self-defense. You guys have been awesome. Again, thank you for that super chat earlier. I'm gonna do another one of these with a shorter umbrella. I have one that's this long, and then I have one that's that long, the smaller one that I carry in the car. So I'm gonna show you techniques that you can use, everyday things that really works. Hello, Russ, it's good to see you. Alita, good to see you too. See you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Keep watching. If you need an umbrella, look at the link below, or if you're just interested, like what does a real unbreakable self-defense umbrella look like? But caveat, invest your time before you invest your money. Get a cheap one and see if you like to use it for self-defense. See if you would carry it before you go invest in $100 plus for some fancy self-defense tool. But if that's your thing, that's the first link below. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. I'll see you on the next one.